All right, so my intro didn't want to act right, but that's okay. Hey guys, you know who this is. This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. How you guys doing this evening? Hey man, I know it's hot, but hold on. Give me a week or two. We're gonna get like 20 inches of rain, all at one time. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened there. Going through it again. But anyway, I've been having that problem for a while, but you know what, guys? We are going. Oh, I don't know. Let's get rid of that. All right, is that gone now? I'm hoping.
We're back.
Okay, guys. I don't know what just happened there, but we'll figure it out as we go. Hey, welcome. Welcome, man, to Sunday Evening Podcast with Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. Hey, and tonight, man, I've been trying to get into Florida for a long time, but it's really hard to find paranormal investigators in Florida. But you know what? I finally found one. Man. Can you believe it? War Party Paranormal. Hey man,
Yes, sir.
yes sir, these guys are lucky, man. Not only they're in a beautiful state, they got a beautiful state, they got beautiful women, and they got beautiful food. Man,
That's
I
right.
can't wait. I can't wait to get down there.
That's why I got this right here.
The
um,
food, hey man,
yeah,
it is so multicultural down there.
that's
It
correct.
is crazy. Uh,
You
Texas
know,
is.
I'm from Florida, and I was born and raised here, so I don't really think about it, but that's true. Now that you say that, we do. We have really good, all kinds of Latin food from all the different Latin countries and everybody that's down here. We got, all kinds. It's like a melting pot. You know what I mean? So we do. We have great food from all over the world.
Yes, sir, you sure do. And not only that, man, you got beautiful women down there.
That's also correct.
Hey, and here's Eric. Let's see if I can get him in here. He's.
I had somebody.
What's up?
What's up,
Sorry,
Eric?
I'm late.
What else is new?
Technical difficulties.
That's all right, brother. That is all right. I got a train.
Somebody in the
We're working on a paranormal hangover. That's what I'll blame it on that. How about that?
That's okay. That's okay. Hey, I'm good for it because you know what? I had one too. I had a big event. Actually, I had a collab with another team from Houston that came down and joined us.
Oh,
And
nice.
man, it got crazy real quick, bro.
Very cool.
It got crazy real quick. We investigated this haunted nursing home,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, I like that.
it got crazy real quick with this, man. I don't even know what to say because
Left
I
you
wasn't.
speechless.
Yeah, it got crazy. But anyway, it's not about me. It's about you guys tonight. Hey, man, tell the world about War Party Paranormal.
Okay, well, we're a big team. We cover the South Florida area, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach. We'll even go further north. We've been around for about 10 years, and basically we're we're a non-for-profit group that helps people with issues with the paranormal. We'll go to their homes or businesses. And on top of that, we do interactive events where you can come investigate us with us at known haunted locations that are museums. All the proceeds goes to the museums for the upkeep, and all we want to do is just get the word out and tell people what we do. and Mike and I are pretty busy. We actually have our own radio show every Monday night live.
There you
War
go.
Party, yep, a War Party Paranormal radio show, and we also have a TV series on an up and coming paranormal network called Netflix, Paraflix, and the name of the show is called The Haunted Files.
Ooh, wee. Hey, man.
We are
I would,
busy,
love to
busy.
be, I would love to be on the show.
Hell yeah,
Well,
man.
come
We'd
on
love to have you.
down.
I would love to be on the show. If you guys can fly me down, hell.
All right.
Well,
We'll
Taking
go
up
to
that
that
big
nursing
budget.
home. A nursing home sounds good to me.
Ooh, wee, man. That nursing home, man. We'll get to that later on, about 30 minutes on down the line, because it's something special. You know, Eric,
Yes, sir.
man, tell me a little bit. Well, first of all, let's back up. Okay,
No, I
guys,
never got your name.
and my name is Terry.
Carrie?
Yeah, just call me Terry. My name's Terry.
Okay, cool.
Hey, okay. Hey, guys, sorry about that, man. I'm so excited to talk to these guys, man. I'm leaving out things. Hey, tonight we are streaming live. Live, guys. We are streaming live not just in the state, the country, the USA. We're also streaming live in Tokyo, Japan. So all you people over there in Tokyo, Japan, hey, welcome to the show. Really, even though it's Monday over there, I hope you guys get a chance to pop in and say hello. You know what I'm saying? We're also streaming live on YouTube and Twitch and on Rumble. I just found out about Rumble a couple days ago. So we're streaming live on that. And we're also streaming live on 3 of my Facebook social media platforms. My YouTube channel, my podcast channel, my paranormal channel, and my other channel, which is my personal channel. So, man, we are streaming live.
Damn, Carrie, you're as busy as us.
Oh yeah, I try to stay busy. I really do. We are streaming live on seven platforms tonight.
Nice.
And so tonight, like I say, it's not about me, it's about you guys. Tell me about what happened last night with you guys. Where were you?
Well, every year, yesterday was National Ghost Hunting Day.
Mm-hmm.
And every year on that day, they have an event called the World's Largest Ghost Hunt.
Right.
I don't know if anyone's familiar with that, but basically what it is it's teams, paranormal teams from all over the world that investigate in one day, and it's streamed live. And then like what they do is we do an experiment, like where they'll have like secret words and stuff like that, and then they'll try to see if all the other teams are picking up on the same things, or if any other teams pick up on things like that, to see if everything matches up. So we were in Yesteryear Village in West Palm Beach, Florida, and Yesteryear Village is a museum. It's a collection of historical buildings that were all run down. They were going to be demolished, and they saved them and moved them to this one location and restored them. And I don't know, Mike, was there like 10 or 15 buildings there? It's pretty big.
Yeah, there's about 10, 15 buildings, and usually we investigate anywhere between 5 of them because we have such a big team, so they'll open up about 5 buildings.
We have 30 team members.
Golly!
And the most well-known building there is the Riddle House, which was featured in season 1 of Ghost Adventures. And we're actually the first team to go back into the attic because Zach and the guys had a little bit of an incident there, and they never let anyone back in there since. So we're honored for that. That's where all the activity is. So basically, the Riddle House used to be a funeral home on the cemetery, and the story there is that one of the spirits that's still there is named Joseph, was accused of stealing, and supposedly he hung himself on the 3rd floor attic, and his spirit still remains there.
Interesting.
And there's also a little boy named Jacob who fell out of the 2nd story window and died there. And then we get a Mary as well. And who knows? I mean, could be other people there because it used to be a funeral parlor, and you don't know what passed there and how many souls have passed through that building. So
Oh yeah, definitely, man. That
and
sounds really
security guards, like at night, they see people like in the windows. They see shadow figures roaming around the grounds, things like that. So like each individual building has its own personality. You got the Riddle House, which was featured on Ghost Adventures. There's a fire museum. There's an old church. There's the L Street House, which we call the murder house, where a woman murdered her husband in the shower.
Oh wow.
What else we got there, Mike? We got the Bell House. That's like a museum for like the history of telephones. Oh, and Mike was at the pineapple processing plant. That's another one where a Confederate soldier was shot and killed there, and his blood still remains on the wooden floors.
Hey man, it seems like you guys got it going on over there.
That's just one of the locations that we do. We have others, and we're going to be very busy this fall season and Halloween season. So yeah.
Is Halloween one of your busiest time, or is it just constant busy?
It is crazy. We got something going on every week. At least Mike and I are. We got invited to a few Paracons where we're going to speak, and then for our team, we got events going on at 4 different locations throughout that next few months.
You know, it's weird because I live in the second biggest state in the country, and I'm 3.5 hours from Dallas, and I'm 2.5 hours from Houston, and I'm about an hour and a half away from San Antonio. And Paracons really aren't that big here in Texas.
Yeah, well, in the South, for some reason, there isn't as many as you think that there would be. Up in the Northeast, it's very popular, and we're trying to change that now. We want to, we were talking with Paraflix, Natalie Jones, and
she's from Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, so she's been planning a few in Texas as well because that's where she's from. And she's partners with Patty Negree. So they're starting to pop up a few in Texas now, and then we're working on maybe doing something in Florida. So hopefully in the future, we'll start having more of that stuff go on down here in the southern states.
Yeah, I know there's like one big one in Texas. I can't remember the name. I don't know if you heard of it. We were always mentioning Paraflix, the network. They do a lot of sponsorships at all these Paracons, and they go to a big one that happens once a year in Texas. I can't remember the name, but I'll have to send you that info.
Yes, please do, because man, I would love to go to an event like that, but it just, I don't know, man. It's weird here in Texas. I mean, we're a weird state anyway, but yeah. Hey, are you guys able to see the comments, please, that are popping?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. We got
Eric,
a team member on our chat,
Eric,
too.
Can you move the mic just out a little bit?
How's that?
A lot better. That's almost a little too far.
I have like a Yeti mic, but I'm having issues with that, so I'm using the mic on my headset.
I actually saw somebody in the chat write as Disney World haunted, and
Pirates of the Caribbean. I heard it is.
Yeah, I heard that Pirates of the Caribbean, and there was one other ride. I think it was Space Mountain or something, because supposedly they would dump ashes of people, of their relatives and stuff, and sneak them out there.
I think I heard that story too.
Yeah, I heard that story too, man. And
I mean, I've never experienced anything there. It's going to be almost impossible to investigate it, right? Because how the security is and how they are, and there's no way they would let anybody in there after hours.
Franny's on the chat. She said the Haunted Mansion and Tower of Terror.
Yeah, the Haunted Mansion is also supposedly haunted from people spreading ashes there. That's what it was. It's the Haunted Mansion.
And real quick, someone in the chat said, "Where's the Riddle House?" It's in West Palm Beach, Florida.
All right. Hey, Torres Paranormal. Torres Paranormal is from South Texas. It can't get no southern than these guys, and they got that whole southern border thing locked down.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, they have just as many paranormal investigators on their team as you guys got. I can tell you, man, if I put your team and their team, hell, I would need a bus to get all you guys to one location. Just because there is so many.
Well, we can do one big Paracon. There you go.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Quarter around the month. All right. Well, check this out. Are you guys located? Or I mean, what I mean is, where do you like your center yourself in Florida? So,
So basically, we'll cover from, I
Anywhere
mean,
in Florida.
anywhere in Florida if we have a case that's big enough to handle. But like mostly, we're covering between, the East Coast, and we have two,
Southeast.
yeah, Southeast Coast. So, and we have two. I don't want to call it divisions because we're not divided. You know what I mean? We're all one
mhm.
team, but we have a southern section and a north section, and we have Eric is the team leader of the South team.
Ooh, Eric, man,
Mhm.
so many different personalities, so many different individuals. How do you
Yeah, we
keep
have very eclectic group. Yep.
how do you keep your sanity, bro?
I don't know. That's Mike. I'm probably like the most sane and calm person. Maybe
I
that's
think that's what it is.
why.
It takes a lot to get him upset. You know what I mean? So, me, I don't know if I'd be able to handle it, man. There's a lot of, but the
That's why
one good,
he's the tech guy.
yeah. The good thing is, I'm going to tell you though that
I'm a people person.
everybody on the team is very friendly. Everybody is super awesome. That we all do
Yeah,
get together
we're a
like
family.
a big family, because the people that aren't, they're not here. They're not here no more. So the people that are
We're very
on the,
selective who's on the
yeah,
team.
exactly, and everybody's gets along, and it's you're gonna have your drama because you have that many people. You're
Oh,
always
yeah.
gonna have somebody. But all in all, it's pretty smooth.
Hmm.
All right,
We're
cool.
very lucky.
All right, hey, if you guys want to answer some of those questions in the chat, man, I would gladly appreciate it.
What kind of equipment we use? We use pretty much all kinds of equipment. The one thing that's been the rave that Mike invented is the Delco experiments, a sensory deprivation. That's what we've been doing a lot of. And basically, it's a hybrid of the Estes and the Gansfeld experiment. And I'm going to have my buddy Mike explain it.
Yeah. So basically, what happened was, have you guys ever heard of the Gansfeld experiment out there? But basically, what it is in the 70s they were testing ESP, the government, and they would take ping pong balls and they would cut them in half and put
Mm-hmm.
them over your eyes, and they'd shine a red light, and then you put on noise isolation headphones and listen to static. Um, basically sensory deprivation at the extreme, at this most extreme. It's not like where you're just wearing headphones and a blindfold where you can't see or hear anything. You're getting, your senses are overloaded with white noise. Your eyes are, you're looking into a red light, so it's basically
Mhm.
sensory overload. And then this puts you into a state where they could test if you were, had ESP and things of that nature. So I got to thinking, I'm like, man, that's very similar to the Estes method that we use in paranormal investigations. But I wonder if we mix the two, how would that go? So, and I also said to myself, I don't want to be bringing ping pong balls all over the place and tape and lights
Mhm.
and this. I said, there's got to be a better way. So I started experimenting, and I finally came up with this is the final prototype that I've been selling and people have been using. Um,
The Ghost Hunter store. That's where you can get them.
yeah. So they're basically goggles with the battery pack, and they have an electroluminescent panel inside. So
Mm-hmm.
it's non-hazardous. It won't hurt your eyes. It's kind of hard to see because I have all the lights on,
Make
but
sure you get your physical before you do it.
Oh,
Full
wow.
disclaimer.
yeah. So
Any heart conditions?
they do strobe, they do flash, and then they stay solid.
Now,
And all you're seeing is that glowing red, and you're listening to a spirit box. And it seems that the results that we're getting, I mean, and the people that have done it,
They're freaking crazy.
it's amazing. And some people are like, oh, well, it's just the Estes method with a pair of stupid goggles on. And basically, yeah,
It
it is
heightens your
that,
senses.
but it's amazing. Like, people don't get the same feeling. They get so much more um reaction. You could see stuff, you could feel, people are seeing visuals, they're feeling, being touched, their experience is so much more vivid. So it's really amazing to see. And like
Yeah.
I said, they are selling them at the Ghost Hunter store now. um And a lot of people have been using them. I went on Facebook the other day for the world's largest ghost hunt. There was a bunch of teams doing it. So it's definitely pretty flattering for sure.
Yeah, we've had some well-known people that use it. I got I don't know if you're familiar with Patty Negree. She's been I'm friends with her, and I got her to do it. And she said she's done a lot of experiments, but she said this one blew her mind away. She said it doesn't compare to any of them. And she's been in the field for a long time.
Yes, she has.
Yeah.
I've talked to her on the phone, I think, last year. And, we had like a brief conversation, and I would love to get her, on the podcast.
Yeah, she's a sweet lady.
Yeah,
She's super nice.
She's pretty busy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, very busy.
And that's
very, very knowledgeable. We've learned a lot. Yeah.
And I totally respect that. That she's busy. But anyway, hey guys, let's ask you guys a question. You guys, like me and Mike were talking about Eric before you popped in.
It was all bad stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
all bad.
I'm used to that. No worries.
It
don't bother me.
Okay, yeah. Hey, one thing we were talking about, Miami is very, very cultural.
Oh yeah.
Different nationalities, man, from all parts of the world.
Different
Correct.
religions, different beliefs.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we also, in Fort Lauderdale is the yachting capital of the world. So we have a lot of the yachts and a lot of the crew there as well, too. So you get people from South Africa, that work on these boats, Australia, and then, you have all the people from all the Latin countries. It's just one big melting pot.
Yeah.
Right? So the question that I have for you guys, when you guys out investigating, and I'm pretty sure this question.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, sure.
My apologies and condolences to your Denver Broncos last weekend.
Man, why'd you have to do that?
I don't care. We got killed by the Bills, so I can't say anything.
Hey, Eric. I mean, Mike. Should I go ahead and meet him? Should I go ahead and meet him?
Yeah, I mean, he's the first one that's booted
I'm
off.
I'm teasing. It got my eye and behind you, so I don't know.
It's okay. Hey, I respect that.
It's all good fun.
Hey, I am a diehard Bronco fan. I mean, diehard.
Mm-hmm.
You really don't know. Okay, the question that I have for you guys, like I say, Florida is very bilingual.
Yeah.
There's a lot, like you say, a lot of different nationalities. And when you guys go into these much older locations, are you guys able to communicate with them through English, or do you got to communicate with the language they were speaking before they passed away?
So I'm gonna answer the first part of this, and I'll let Eric take the second part. How about that?
Go for it.
There has been times where we're doing EVP sessions or spirit box sessions and stuff will start coming through in Spanish. And we have a couple members on the team that are Cuban, and Eric can speak Spanish a little bit as well. So yeah, we've had sessions turn Spanish, EVP sessions and different things like that. And we also have a lot of Native American history all over, and they all had different languages that they would speak to, but they did speak a lot of English. But that kind of leads me to, I'm going to let Eric tell you about this. This was part of one of our episodes, Spirits of the South. We did an episode called that. We kind of based it on a lot of the Native American history that we have here in South Florida. And Eric, I hope you know what I'm referring to.
I knew you were going to bring that up.
Yeah, so I'll let you tell.
I was thinking.
I'm going to let you. I knew you're thinking the same thing too, so I want to lead up to it. So I'm gonna let you tell that story, and it kind of ties into everything that we just talked about.
Yeah. So this is my thinking. So we were investigating the cemetery, and along the edges of the cemetery are these Native American burial grounds that date back like 2,000 years, like not 2,000 years, like I think 250 AD. That's how old they are. There's a serpent mound, like almost like a Mayan style. So it goes back really far. And we get a lot of activity at the cemetery. We get a lot of shadow figures, and I think it's all related to that. So We
It's
were
like a
there.
perfect storm, right? You got a serpent mound that was
They're sort of
destructed.
desecrated as well. Like
Yeah,
not on
because they
purpose,
took up
but
they took up a lot of the back in the 20s when they were building the cemetery. They took up a lot of the mounds because they didn't know what they were to use for road fill.
Oh wow.
So
and they
that
dug up the
obviously,
half moon mound that they didn't realize that they did.
probably stirred up some stuff. And then you got a cemetery that they put on top of it. So it's almost
Mhm.
like you dug up my sacred grounds to bury your people on top of my people. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm sure they're not very happy about that whole situation too, you know, the
Right.
spirits there.
So yeah, we were like, it was just the three of us. It was Mike and I and our co-founder Scotty, and we were in the middle of the cemetery. And I'm just like talking aloud, talking like to them, and I'm like, we were like talking about like, do you think spirits, like we were talking about the Native Americans, do you think they understand what we're talking about? And I just said that out loud, and we heard a female disembodied voice said yes.
Clear
And
as
no
day.
one was around. We had thermal cameras. We were trying to search to see if anyone was there with the thermal cameras, because this cemetery is out in the middle. It's in the boondocks. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it was pretty wild. And I guess that was my confirmation. I think like if you're on the other side, you can understand anything.
Yeah, that seems so you can be bilingual once you get up there.
Multilingual.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it was
You know
wild.
what,
He said that. He goes, "Do you think that people that speak other other languages can understand us speaking English on the other side?" Basically, it was the question he asked. And we just hear a disembodied voice, clear as day, like somebody was standing right next to us, said, "Yes."
Right on
Very,
cue, right after I said the question, like they were hanging out.
and we all freaked out. We all heard it. We go, "What was that? Was that somebody's phone? What was that?" Nobody had their phones on them. We caught it on 3 different cameras. And I mean, it was like crystal clear. And it's in one of our episodes. Actually, it's in Spirits of the South.
Yeah.
Now,
I sent you a trailer. I don't know if you're able to show it here.
no, I'm not. You sent it to me on my phone.
Yeah, on IG.
Yeah, and IG, I'm live with IG right now, but I don't think I can even
Oh, okay.
do
No
something
worries.
like that. Are you guys able to investigate the St. Augustine Lighthouse?
Yep, I've been there. I was there about a year ago.
Okay.
Super active.
Super active. Now, who do you think? Now, I know it was active before TAPS got there, but do you think TAPS made that location a little bit more open than what it was?
I don't think so, because you got to remember St. Augustine's the oldest city
Yeah,
in
definitely.
the U.S. I mean, this is back in the 1500s in Spanish. And there's just so much history and death. I mean, the whole town is haunted. And I got a perfect example of that. Back when COVID hit for the first time, you know how they shut down all the businesses, stores, the restaurants, things like that. Well, just before that, we had an Airbnb there that we were hanging out. And I went there at night, and though no one was out, it was the quietest St. Augustine would ever be, like the town. And you can just walk the streets, and I was just getting wild stuff,
Oh,
especially
wow.
at the fort, at the Castillo de San Marcos. But yeah, the whole town's haunted. It's super haunted. And yeah, I think the lighthouse was probably just as active before they got there.
That is crazy. I would love to go check that place out, man,
So-
and just hang out.
I actually noticed that since I signed in, it'll actually let me share a video. So I mean, at one point we have a trailer to one of our new episodes. If you wouldn't mind, we could play. It's only 1 minute.
No, feel free, man. Do what you do. If you
Yeah,
able to get it on there, do your thing.
Yeah, I could do it.
We did the Delco experiment on a boat.
Yeah, I mean, this is I'm super excited for this, so I'm super excited to show it off. If you don't mind, Eric,
No, I don't mind. Not at all.
Eric, I don't know if you want to explain why I'm digging through the files.
Well, I'm going to answer a question. Someone just put up any children ghost in St. Augustine, and we were just talking about the St. Augustine Lighthouse, and there's spirits of little girls there. And what happened there is there was a tragic accident. When they were building the lighthouse keeper had two little girls, and they had their friend with her. And they used to bring the ships like right close to where the lighthouse was. There was like a dock there, and all the supplies would be dumped there. And there was like a ramp that would go from the dock all the straight up, like in the angle up to the lighthouse, and they would keep building and building on top of it. So there was this cart that they were using, and the little girls used to sit in the cart and ride the cart down like like a little roller coaster. So the one time they did it, the brake wasn't up, and the thing tipped over, went in the water, and all three girls drowned.
Oh
And
no.
their presence is there. I've experienced it. I experienced them twice being there, and it wasn't even actually in the lighthouse and in the keeper's house as well.
Wow.
And they like to mess with you too. Like people say, like they'll like untie your shoes and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
then one of the lighthouse keepers like fell off the lighthouse and died there. So there's been a lot of death.
oh, that's crazy. How hard is it for you guys to how can I say this? Yeah, for you guys to go in certain neighborhoods and investigate certain locations. Do you guys have any problems with that?
Um, no, I mean, in Florida, there's definitely a lot of sketchy areas. You know what I mean? And one of the places that's kind of a little frightening, not just by the spirits, is a place that we go to called the Aerojet Rocket Facility, and it's out in the middle of the Everglades, about 3 miles out, and it's like a whole compound of abandoned buildings. And every time we go out there, we always are like, all right, you know what, are we going to run into some meth head in here, you know what I mean, or something strange? Because when it was found by the discovered by and put out there by the python hunters, they actually found blood and found stuff from sacrifices.
Oh wow.
And they actually had to file a police report. But when we go out there, we make sure, I have my concealed weapons permit, so I do.
Well, there's a reason why they were doing these rituals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the place was called the Aerojet Rocket Facility, and Jack Parsons was the founder of rocketry back in California, and he helped create the Aerojet Rocket Facility. But what a lot of people don't know is he was like a disciple of Aleister Crowley and did a lot of worship and Satanism and all types of things. So we think that's why people go back there to do these rituals, because of that, because they know about that.
Oh man, speaking of that, this question just hit me right on top of my head. I'll try to keep questions as you guys are talking. Now, have you guys ever come across something that individuals or certain religions and certain practices that they shouldn't be doing, and they get caught up in it, and they have to call you guys out because weird shit is going on now?
Yep, opening portals and stuff.
So Eric has had an experience with a couple times with residentials. We don't really like to get into too many details on residentials because we like to keep it very confidential, but we're not going to mention anybody's names or anything like that. But there was a couple residential cases where the people were dabbling in I wouldn't say anything dark, but they were, trying to communicate with spirits and using stones and different things. And, they would open up their home to these spirits, and then they would call us when things got too much. And then we're telling them, you got to knock it off. It's not like you can choose and pick and choose. Like once you open up that doorway, anything could come in, and now you're in a situation where you're calling us to come out, but you have to listen. You have to knock it off. Like you can't keep doing this, because once we come in and cleanse the area and get it, you start doing this again, they're going to come right back. So it's, so the answer is
we did a residential case at a bar, which is now demolished, and they were getting a lot of activity for years, but they didn't want anyone to check it out. And now when they knew they were going to get demolished, they're like, you know what, we should just have this place investigated. Well, what happened was one of the bartenders that used to work there many years, she was bringing the negative energy from her house because she was dabbling in dark stuff. and that stuff was going to the bar and enhancing whatever happened there, because a lot of bad things happened there as well, like people ODing on drugs, and some
Right.
getting shot out back and stuff like that. And I guess like that negative energy she was bringing in there was enhancing everything else that happened there.
Right. Okay. Now, another question: how do you guys handle something that has a different religion, a different background? Because I know Haiti has their own thing.
Hmm.
Cuba has their own thing. The Dominican Republic has a dark history that dabbles, people dabbles in certain things that they shouldn't have. St. Lucia and, just different Caribbean has their own religion and
Exactly.
voodoo
Yeah.
practices and all that stuff.
Well, we're very diverse. We have people like in different types of fields of religion. Actually, we've actually had a priest that's actually worked with the Warrens, good friends with them, but recently passed away. So he would come and do cleansings as well. We have people that are into Wiccan. We got a new group that have experience with Santeria. So we're very eclectic, and whenever we get a case, we always try to like tailor it to like what their beliefs and things are.
Yeah, and also we're a firm believer too that all religions are very similar in a way, right? Even though they're different, they're all kind of, if you look at the cliff notes, everything, they're all very similar in a way that we feel that the positive energy will push that stuff out. So we look at things like, even like when I joined the team, our co-founder Zap said, listen, I don't care what religion you are, it doesn't matter to me, as long as you bring positive energy and you bring that positive into an investigation, and when we need to do a cleansing and different things like that, like he said, it doesn't really matter. He's Catholic, and he goes on that nature, and he's also Cherokee. But he said it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. In the way that I look at things, it's basically the way that you perceive things and the way that you put out that positive energy into the world, and the way that you can do that. So the religion, he said, and I believe, and I agree with his statement, is not really super important. It's more the spiritualism and the energy.
Okay. I investigate. I've talked to a lot of podcasters from Maine, Florida now, Utah, Washington State, Arizona, and they always have some kind of story that's really unbelievable. Nobody would ever believe it. You know, do you guys have a story like that? It went down, and it's really hard for you guys to believe that situation actually went down in your life.
I have like a bunch of mini stories, just like experiencing things that I'm very skeptical, and I'm not sensitive. So when I see something, I doubt myself. I'm like, there's got to be a rational explanation for that to happen, and I'm trying to find answers for it. And I'm like still doubting that something like that would happen, and then it'll like hit me like maybe a few days later, like, oh my god, I just saw like a full blown shadow figure. That's crazy. But
I would say,
I know Mike's had an extreme story that he can share with you.
yeah, I do. It was actually one of the first investigations I ever did. But before I get into that real quick, I would say one of the craziest things that happened to Eric and I was actually at the King Cromartie house in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah, that's pretty wild.
You remember that? That was insane.
Yeah, the light. Yeah.
So we had an investigation. We were filming and doing some stuff, and we were leaving for the area. And there's a keeper that lives in the house, downstairs, and has an office and a little bedroom. And he maintains the building. So when we were there, investigating, he's like, "I'm gonna go have a drink. I'm gonna get out of here, leave you guys alone, let you have the house." So we finished up and we came downstairs and we locked the door. It's in Fort Lauderdale, so it's kind of like right next to a lot of bars and stuff, just on the other street. And there's a lot of strange people that roam. Yeah, and there's a lot of strange people that kind of roam off into the back streets there. So anytime we leave the building, we always lock it from the inside and shut the door. So we were done. We set everything out. Okay, we locked the inside. We shut the door. The one fellow wasn't back yet, the keeper. And we're over in the parking lot BSing. And we look over and the upstairs light in the room that we were in popped on. And we were like, what in the world? We're like, is he back in the house already? Like,
we were like, oh, that's so-and-so. He's like up in the house. He's probably turned it on.
We didn't pay much mind to it. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to grab my camera and my phone and I'll just film it just in case.
And he walks out.
And the guy comes walking from behind us. And the house is in front of us. And he's like, hey, what's up, guys? And he just walked by and we're like, what in the world? That wasn't him.
And then the light went off.
And it went off. As soon as he walked in front of the house, it just shut off.
Oh, wow.
And we have that on video. And there was absolutely nobody in the house. It was just 4 of us investigating.
Yeah.
And so that was wild. I don't think anybody would really believe that unless we did capture it on film, but that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
But real quick, I'll make it short and sweet. One of my first investigations, my buddy of mine, God rest his soul, he just passed away, but his wife, friend, we were all sitting around and she told me, I think my apartment's haunted. And I was like, oh, really? Like, this is like really like when I first started, like this is 10 years ago. And I said, all right, so do you mind if we go check it out sometime? She's like, I'm actually going out of town. I'll leave, Marta, his wife, the key, and you guys can go in and check it out because she's going to watch her dog anyway. So, okay, no problem. We go over there one night, just me and my buddy. We open the door and we hear water running. We're like, what in the world? So we walk over to the bathroom. The bathroom is closed and locked and shut. We open it up. We go in and all the stuff from the counter is pushed into the sink and both the hot and cold water are turned on. And the door was shut. And she had like a little dog. The thing was only like this big. It was like the size of a cat. And I'm like, what in the world? So we shut the water off. We go in her room and it's locked from the inside. So we pick it with like one of the, like a nail. You just kind of stick it in the hole. And as soon as we opened up the door, we heard a disembodied groan and then we heard a disembodied voice. We step outside to have a cigarette. We come back in. The little dog is now on top of the kitchen counter. And there is no way that little dog can jump like that. So it was really strange. And that was really what piqued my interest. And I started getting more and more into investigating.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that would definitely mess with my head right there, especially with the little dog. I'm like,
yeah, that was crazy. That was wild.
I'm like, how in the hell you get up there, Poochie? What the hell you doing?
Only that dog could talk.
Right?
Speaking of dogs, man, do you guys use any kind of animals when you guys investigate?
Actually, we have. We had I got a little story about that. We have a lady that was on our team, but she moved actually to Texas. And she has a service dog, this Rottweiler. I forgot his name. He passed away. But we would go around seeing to see what he senses. And we were at this one cemetery that we frequent. It's we got little playgrounds that we go to, to mess around with equipment and stuff that we know has activity. So I have my full spectrum camera on the ground, and it was just filming. And then in front of the camera is the dog, and he's just chilling out, laying down on the grass. And all of a sudden he jumps up and starts growling, and I'm like, why would he be doing that? I mean, there's nothing out there. And I look back at we didn't see this with our own eyes, so we were trying to see what he was seeing. But on the full spectrum camera, you can see a light go across, and you could see his head looking at the light and following it. It was just really weird.
Wow.
And then he got agitated. And this dog's very chill. He never gets agitated, so it's really weird.
Oh,
well,
wow.
we have plans on doing that, and for one of our shows,
We are.
We're going to bring one of our team members and her little dog, And
Yeah, my
so,
girlfriend Franny, she's on our team, and she has a little what's it, a Dotson,
Sweeney.
a Sweeney, a Dotson. She was on the chat, but anyway, it's a little dog, and we went to visit one of our friends that owns a haunted jail in Florida, and we walked with the dog in certain parts of the jail, and the dog was like, "I'm not moving. You're not even gonna get close."
I'm not
Oh,
dealing with you.
it's a Shih Tzu Dotson mix, a Sweeney. That's what they call it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
But there might be a future show.
Yeah, we got to bring him back to the jail. Another episode.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Poor
all
dog
right.
going to get traumatized. He's going to therapy. We'll cleanse
Now,
him. Dogs,
Yeah,
animals can get cleansed.
it's like when my dog gets up in the middle of the night and sits on the edge of the bed and starts growling at something, and there's nothing there, and I'm like, okay, come on, bud, just, come on, just trying to blow it off, like
He's not looking at anything.
He's hearing something outside.
question: which is more sensitive, dogs or cats? What do you guys think?
I don't know,
man. And the only thing that I could think too is that they're like, I always try to debunk things and everything, and I do think that dogs are sensitive to paranormal, but I also know that their
hearing's
hearing
much more sensitive. Yeah,
is much more sensitive. So if they hear something possibly outside that we can't hear, I have a cat and a dog, and I don't know. I would say dogs, if anything. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Eric, what you think, brother?
I don't know. I think it's equal. I mean, if I see a cat like just hanging out in the corner staring at the wall, and a dog, I mean, I don't know. I think it's the same. I don't know.
Okay. I got a question for you guys. Do you guys think there is a big surge or a big decrease in people putting paranormal investigators, putting teams together? Do you think they're doing it more now, or do you think it's basically on a decrease? What do you guys think about that? Because somebody asked me that question before.
I don't know. I think it's the increase. I'm always seeing new teams popping up. And I
Me
think a
too.
lot of people do it for different reasons. I mean, some people do it just because, that they like to investigate. They won't do like residential cases. They just like to go and try to capture evidence and put it on YouTube, stuff like that. So, there's a lot of people that do it for different reasons.
Okay, Eric, got a question. Do you think that's dangerous when people that aren't educated, the simple education of becoming a paranormal investigator, for those that don't educate themselves and just go out and do it, do you think that's kind of dangerous for an individual?
Very dangerous. I think it's very dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's dangerous in two ways, right? If you're not if you do not know how to use the equipment properly and you're getting false positives and you are believing that this is spiritual activity and you get really wrapped up in that, and it could be damaging to your mental health is one reason, because I put out a couple videos on my YouTube on like how to use a K2 meter properly. And if you're filming it with your phone, obviously it's going to light up because you have the EMF coming off of your phone and all these things. So I think that's one aspect of thing. Two, you could possibly, without doing the right things or knowing the right people to cleanse you if you need it, if you go to get into somewhere where there is dark things, or if there is, children attachments or things like that, or when to stay out of certain areas and when to call it quits, and when to make sure and how to properly protect yourself.
Yeah, we had a lady last night that had to walk out the Riddle house. I mean, she just couldn't take it anymore. Her chest was tight. She looked really bad, and I had to take her outside so she can get some fresh air.
I had two people walk out when I got an EVP that said "leave" real loud, and they were like, "Okay, we got to go."
Yeah, we do that at times. We do an event at a school, and I had a classroom filled with people, and then we're doing EVP session, and it said "get the F out." And right when it said that, everyone looked at each other, didn't even say anything, and just stood up and walked out.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, how political does paranormal investigating get in South Miami?
So there's not that many, so it's not too bad. Like there is a few smaller teams out there that locations and everything. There's drama and stuff
We
like that.
practice a lot of para-unity. We're friends with a lot of the other
Yeah,
paranormal
we
teams here in
stay.
Florida. We invite them to like our places to investigate.
Yeah, to come out with us, and
Yeah.
we try to stay very, Switzerland. Like
Okay. Now, what I mean about political is there are certain entities in every community that you guys that we deal with, that deals with certain locations. Either it's a yes or is it no, or is it how much money can you give to us to get in this location? Now,
Mhm.
the historical society is pretty big here in Texas.
Mhm.
And the way I look at it is the governor, historical society, the mayor, and so on and so on. And that's how big they are here. So, if you don't have your foot into I mean, I ain't gonna say a foot. If you don't have your hand in a certain political figure's pocket, historical figure, historical society, it's a no automatically.
Well,
Especially
I work with a lot of museums. Like I've gotten like 3 locations, and basically my approach is like first they look at me like I'm crazy,
exactly.
but I'll only approach a location if it has the people if it's been known to be haunted and they know it's haunted. But when I go to them is I offer them, I tell them, hey, listen, we would love to do events for you. We're non for profit. We just want to help you guys raise money because those museums need money for the upkeep. I mean, a lot of them are losing money. And that's the proposition that I come with. I say, hey, we're going to raise money for you. We're going to do these events. And all we want in turn is just have the place to ourselves to investigate because we're
Yeah.
passionate and we want to get the word out so people know what we do. So people know who to go to when they do have an issue with the paranormal.
Right.
And,
But
and it's a matter of being persistent with them sometimes. But like a lot of them, like, they're up for it. It just depends how you approach it.
Okay.
and there are some that are like absolutely not. We're not into that.
Yeah.
We don't. But
Mhm.
there are some that are. That didn't even think about it. They go, oh, you know what?
And then actually talking about historical societies, I was telling you about the jail with the dog. Our friend Henry, he bought a jail that is haunted, and he's restoring it, and he's trying to make it into a historical landmark. And just what he had to go through was so difficult. He had to go to speak to people up in the Capitol in Tallahassee, and right now he got approval finally after like what, Mike, 2 years?
Yeah. Mhm.
Oh wow, he got his marker, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, so he's going to get his plaque. He's going to be able to put it up there, and
Wow,
very happy for him.
that
Yeah.
is huge right there.
Gilchrist County Jail for you folks. It's near Gainesville, Florida. So
And he opens it up for investigations for anybody to come, and he doesn't charge
Yeah.
much, and he just wants people to get
very
out there.
affordable. He's very proud of his place. He has security cameras. He has all this high tech stuff that's recording like thermals and all kinds of things.
Wow.
And he just wants people to come there and enjoy it. I mean, very nice person. So yeah, it's on Facebook, the Gilchrist County Jail. Check it out.
All right, I'm
And
gonna
we'll
have
be
to
at the Paracon. We'll be at the Paracon October 28th? No,
Oh, I'm
14th.
gonna have to.
That's right.
I'm gonna have to check that out, man. Because we are venturing out into other states, to see what lies ahead for us out there, man. We're always looking to see where we can go next. Just luckily, William from Urban Paranormal Society out of Chicago, Utah. I mean, Chicago, Illinois, Chicago, Utah. What the hell is wrong with me? Yeah, out of Chicago, Illinois. What's up, brother? If you watching, what's going on? Yeah, man. He moved down to New Mexico, and man, he got a hold of me ASAP. He's like, hey, man, you guys got to come over here and check out this school. I'm like, what's wrong with the school? It's just a school. He said, no, this school is pretty hyped, man. It's got a lot of stuff going on over here. So so we're headed over there the second to the last weekend in October to check that place out. But man,
Nice.
to me, it seems like you guys are not too into residential. Am I correct?
Well, it's actually that's our main purpose are the residential cases.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
been slow actually. We actually had 3 back to back that didn't turn out to be paranormal. It's just people had other issues and they were just blaming it on the paranormal, like,
Exactly.
drug abuse, things like that.
Now, so you can say with me, Eric, is paranormal is me myself. I'll say maybe 85% mental, 10% paranormal.
Yeah.
I
People
mean,
just don't understand. It's a misunderstanding.
yeah, I mean, if you're off your meds and you see things and you know you're off your meds and you're doing double taking and things, why not
Yeah.
just take your meds? It's just a
Right,
few,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and and that's people. It's human nature always to blame something else than themselves. You know what I mean? So they're looking for something to blame. Not saying that there's not cases that are paranormal, because obviously there is. But just like you said, if somebody's intoxicated or withdrawing from substances and different things. There's so many different things that can cause
Yeah.
things like that. Excessive EMF can give you that feeling of being watched and different strange things. And
yeah.
I mean, even been times where people called us in and we walk in and like all their like friends and family are there and they got their beer and like we're the entertainment. We don't want that. They think we're like a Ghost Adventures right in front of their living
Yeah.
room.
No, I'm not your entertainment, brother. I'm not finna go down that road with you damn drunks. I'm not having
yeah, no,
We do
left.
have a process where we try to weed that out. It doesn't work 100%, but it's a better process than what we had before. So we do. I mean, we'll do a telephone screening, we'll do a preliminary, and then we'll determine if it needs a full out investigation.
Yeah,
we try to
Right
vet.
into it.
you usually got to send somebody out, man, just to do,
So like,
like
I have like
evaluate.
I have a questionnaire, and some of the questions are very personal,
Yeah.
and it kind of lets them know that we ain't BSing, like,
No, man, because one thing I know about paranormal investigators is I take this seriously.
Oh yeah.
Because it's two prime factors that that you put in investigating. One is money. When you put your money into what you like to do is, and number two is time.
Yep.
Don't mess with my money, Bustin, and don't mess with my time because we're serious about this.
Yeah.
And it's really hard for people to understand that because they think it's a game.
Yeah.
It's
I
not a
tell
game.
people we're a research team. We're doing research here.
Yeah, it's not a game until you really, really need to call us.
Yeah.
And once
Right.
you call us, hey, I might not pick up the phone because, hey, I remember you playing that game with me a couple of weeks ago, but now you need my help.
Right.
Uh-uh. Not happening. Not happening here. And you know what? And I've had people like that. I'm pretty sure you guys have
Oh yeah.
want to join the team, and then next thing you know, hell, they go on one investigation and you don't hear from them again. I'm
we get
like,
that.
well, I call them up. It's like, oh man, I just wanted to scratch that off on my bucket list. And I'm like, really?
That's why we have a 90-day probation period.
Yeah. And I like to keep my team small, between 3 and 6.
That's good.
I don't think my attitude is like yours, Eric, where I'm able to maintain and all the personalities that are going, dude. Man, I'm pretty sure you guys have a group chat, right, where all the members are in it.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But dude, that group chat goes on all night damn long, and sometimes I just gotta shut that sucker off.
So
Well, we don't
we
actually
have
we don't Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I would say we have a private Facebook page for the team members, and the
Instead of doing a
leaders
chat.
and the management will post like when the next event is, what's going on, and people will post on there, opposed to a chat, because we found out that the chat is like that. You know, people just randomly go on, and then you got to go back and try to read. It's too much, so we'll just put
30 people. 30 people carry.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I would love to be in your team, Terry, if I lived in Austin instead of Corpus. You know what, man? There are so many paranormal teams in the Corpus Christi area. If you just reach out to them, bro, I'm pretty sure they will let you, do a probation type thing. But these people are so cool down there, man. And Corpus Christi is a pretty hot spot too, man. It's right there on the ocean. So the nightlife is good. The investigating is good. Hey, man, if you just reach out to some of these teams down there, if you contact me after the podcast, I will give you a list of some of those teams down there, and I'm pretty sure they would love to have you on. So if you can do that.
He's right. That's the way to do it, man. Go out, go meet the team in person, call them, whatever it is. Get in touch with one of your local teams, and do the right
how
thing.
I did it? You know how I did it? I used to, before I even got into this, I used to go to those haunted tours and stuff like that. So I went on one in Miami, and it was a paranormal investigation event. And I went up to the guy and I was like, "Hey, listen, I'd just love to go on an investigation. I don't care if I have to carry equipment, whatever you want me to do. I just want to experience it." Then before I know it, I'm doing events, I'm doing residentials, doing TV, all kinds of stuff. So
there you go. Now, all right, let's talk about, I know we talked about it earlier, but let's talk about it, religion. Now, what is the most heavy religion in Florida?
Christianity.
Christianity. So it's Christianity, well, I can't really say Southern Baptist. Is it Christianity? Christianity.
Catholic.
I'm going to say Catholic because it's a lot of Latinos here from Central America
and
South
Italians,
America.
and
yeah.
And not too much Southern Baptist, because Southern Baptist is a
we got Southern Baptists here too. Trust me.
Oh, okay. So
we got a lot of that.
Out of all of those three main religions, because we have the reason why I'm asking you this, because we have this problem, is that Catholics, these the type of people that are conservative.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want, if something going on in their house.
I was raised Episcopalian, Protestant. They defected from the Catholic Church.
Yeah,
King Henry wanted a divorce, and the Catholic Church wouldn't let him do it. So I think the way the story is that he created his own denomination.
Right, that's crazy. But yeah, man, people in South Texas are Catholics, and they have some of the hardest times getting in certain locations, and these individuals know that there's something is haunted, something's going on in their house, but yet they don't want to pick up that phone. Why are people afraid? Why the most thing is, why are certain religions are afraid of the unknown?
Because it's taught, it's taught into them, that anything like that is dark, it's a demon, it's stay away from stuff like that, don't mess with it. So it's kind of ingrained in their from when they were very young,
people saying trying to investigate the dead. So a lot of people think that's like messing around with the devil and stuff like that. I mean, I went to a Christian school, it was Baptist based, and
this is the thing that I don't understand. The Catholic Church is the start of all of this. The Catholic Church is the foundation of what we do today. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
Okay, because if it wasn't for the Catholic Church that send investigators out into the world to go. If the Catholic Church hears something going on in Hungary, they'll send an investigator over there to see what happened. Transylvania, they'll send an investigator over there to see what happened. So why is it now they are starting to reject the things that they were doing almost 300 years ago?
Well, I still think that there's exorcisms. There's people that are religious figures that are into the paranormal, like Bishop John Long, from he's on Ghost Ventures here and there, and he has his own show and his own thing. And, I believe that, like I said, what they were taught is fooling around or doing any of the things that we're doing
that's what I was taught
is evil, is you shouldn't be doing that and leave, and that's why they believe that it's not a ghost. They believe that it's a demon pretending to be a ghost. Everything is anything that from beyond our realm is evil, and they don't believe that it's a spirit of a person, that it's something dark and evil, and that's what they believe.
Yeah, and the thing is, not everything is all dark and evil. I mean, there's a lot of good.
Yeah,
I think it's very rare, to be honest with you. I think it's very, very rare.
Like a type of exorcist type haunting is very rare.
Yeah, I mean, your family members aren't evil. If your family members come and communicate with you, I don't understand why would they consider that a demon.
No, it could be like a guardian angel. That's how I look at it. They're watching over you, protecting you.
I mean, because everything in this world is not negative.
No, it's not.
No. And I'm not saying necessarily I believe this way of thinking, but I think that's the answer to the question that why are people that are very religious, not wanting to make that phone call or call out on a team, because they fear that they'd rather play it off like, oh, it's nothing, it's not something that I have to worry about. And a lot of times people are embarrassed, that's why
they don't want to be ridiculed.
And that's why we say that we're always very discreet.
Or maybe some people think like you're experiencing this because you're doing something that's wrong. What are you doing?
Right. Oh, I'm afraid of what my neighbor might think.
Yeah, that as well.
The thing is, your neighbor could be experiencing the same thing that you're going through.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
But like I said, that's why also we do these events, so we can meet people in person. Some of the people that come out to our events, they're there because they're having experiences at home, and they're like, we want to see what's up with this team if they're legit, and then they'll come over to us afterwards and be like, hey, by the way, in person, because they feel comfortable.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, these guys.
And there's other religions. I mean, there's other religions. I've experienced doing a residential case where the people practice Hinduism, and that was pretty wild. And what their thoughts of, the dead, they're like into reincarnation, things like that.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy.
That was pretty wild. Yeah.
I just think that the Catholic Church I think they need to do more to make everything aware on what we do. You know what I'm saying? I think more needs to be done. And just say, hey, it's okay. But I know they're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. Okay, hey guys, what do you guys think about Hollywood and how they portray us?
Over the top sometimes.
I mean, I get it. It's entertainment, you know what I mean? And they want it to be, they've been desensitizing people for years in the way that they do media and different things and TV, and they're always trying to push the limits. How could we get grosser, scarier, and weirder, and until the point where everything is so dramatic.
Everything's demon now. That's the new thing. Everything's demonic.
So yeah, I believe the satanic panic, from the 80s and 90s, it's still very alive and going on today because of the media. Not just the media, but like Hollywood and these shows. And a lot of people even come out to our events, and they're like, we love the paranormal, but we love how you guys do it because it's not over exaggerating. You guys are the real deal, you know. But I think it's good and bad, right? So, you know, some of these movies that they've done, you know, from the Warrens, you know, and things, they're definitely, some of the stuff is exaggerated and things of that. And I think a lot of people understand that. But I think it has its pros and its cons. It brings more people into looking into the paranormal and looking into it and researching and bringing awareness. But you could have, you got to be open minded, but you can't be so open minded that your brains fall out. You know what I mean? Like, you got to understand that's TV, and then there's things in real life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I just wish that the people, whoever's out there that wants to do this, has to realize that that is TV.
Yeah.
So everything is a little bit, you know, 'cause when you're dealing with TV, they're going to do whatever it takes to make that
Yeah.
quality.
And once you exaggerate something or fake something, boom, there goes your credibility. It's gone.
Exactly.
And you
It's
can't
out of
get
there.
that back.
You'll never get it back.
Never.
And Eric and I actually produce and film and investigate all our own shows. We do it all ourselves, and that's one thing that we
Take pride
make
in.
sure that we are always stay credible. We don't do anything special, man. We go out and we investigate just like we normally would. We just
Mhm.
film it and we capture it, and we're bringing that evidence out to the people.
And we don't
Obviously, I'm gonna.
antagonize. We're very respectful, and we get a lot of activity.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna edit it into a way to make it entertaining.
Mhm.
But we're not gonna jump out the window. We're not gonna run out of the place screaming. We're not gonna make it over exaggerating. There's enough people out there doing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
not out there for that. We're out there to show what real investigators going out doing real investigations and showing our evidence that we capture,
Exactly. Now, some people,
presenting it in an entertaining way where you're not going to get bored of just a camera sitting there and a couple guys doing EVPs in a room for a couple hours where you're going to get bored and turn it off. We like to keep it entertaining, but we're going to keep it honest.
yeah. And one of the things that I get criticized sometimes is because I've, you know, somebody will text me on Messenger, you know, and they're like, well, why is all your videos unedited and uncut? For the reason why, like you said, Mike, I don't want nobody. I don't want to be judged on somebody thinking I'm putting something in there that, you
Oh,
know.
look, he cut right there. There must have been something there, you know. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, we'll do that too. I mean, for like regular, you know, during our social media and on stuff like that, you know, we'll put raw clips out of the stuff
Yeah,
that we capture.
we do
But
that when we share our evidence on social media. Yep.
Right. And you know, I never put music into my editing. I'll jump right in. I never put music because I got so scrutinized when I was doing that before. It's like, well, why are you putting music into your intro and all that stuff? I'm like, well, you know, hell, 50 other million other paranormal investigators are doing it. So I mean, I don't see what a little music intro would have, you know, would do anything to you, you know.
see,
But
I have a very short attention span. I do.
Mhm.
I have like ADD. So for me, I gotta have. I feel that it helps. I do. I know a lot of people are against it. I'll have like drones, like sounds, like and stuff like in, but
mhm.
it's not during an EVP session. Like, it'll cut to quiet when we're playing back an EVP or stuff like that, so you can hear what's going on. But like in between, when there's B-roll, yeah, I'll put music and stuff. You got to keep it. I feel that it keeps it entertaining. It um, keeps you watching. You know, but definitely not going to have music and stuff over the top of evidence or stuff like that, or any kind of build up music, you know, to something. I like the you know, to show our evidence.
What do you tell? What would you guys tell somebody and wants to come in and, you know, start a team and they want you guys to be their mentor? What would you tell them?
Well, you got to join our team before you start one. You got to like learn like what you
Mm,
No,
need to
no, no. I
do.
understand. I understand the question. Like if somebody came to us said, "Hey, we're in another state. We want to start a team. What would you give me for advice?" I would say just make sure that you do your research. You learn how to use the equipment properly. Don't feel bad to ask questions. Learn from different people. And when you start to put a team together, don't do residentials right off the rip. Wait,
No,
learn.
because you
You
got to
have
be
to.
experienced to help people. You're dealing with their lives and
You
emotions and
can
all
you
that.
can yeah. If you want to go out and investigate and stuff,
That's
do
not a
so.
game.
But yeah, these are people's lives. They're
mm,
calling you in as a last resort. They're scared. And it's very touchy the way that you handle it because you could
Hmm.
really impact a person or family's well-being.
It could be children, involved.
exactly. Now, what would you guys tell people that are okay? What is the most dangerous investigations that people seem to do and found some way that they can't control, or they mess things up anymore, even more? Uh, what type of investigations would that be?
Just
So
got to keep yourself safe. Like if you're going into an abandoned place and it's run down, and you're just there in the dark and you've never been there, there's going to be Mike, how many times have I hurt myself? You could seriously get injured and hurt depending on where you go, things like that. So,
and then
Mike's
as
your
far as like on the paranormal side of things too, you don't want to bring. I've heard this happen to numerous very well-known investigators, some on TV, some just very well-known people. You don't want to go on a serious investigation if you're bringing along any mental baggage.
yeah.
Um, if you had a really bad day and you're all pissed off, or you're sad, something very very traumatic happened, or take the day off. Don't go. It's not like a place is going anywhere. It's been there hundreds of years. You know,
Right.
Yeah, anything that's
don't.
bad is going to feed off a negative energy. It's just going to make them stronger.
Now,
You
if
don't want to
you
bring that to them.
right, definitely. Hey, man, I've been trying to find somebody. Maybe you guys can help me out. That I'm looking for a paranormal investigator. They are located in the Caribbean. Do you guys know
Ooh,
anybody
no,
that investigates over there?
no. And I spent a lot of time over there for years working
Um,
on boats.
I'm trying to think. I know one guy, Miguel. Where's he? I know someone in Central America. The actual Caribbean, I can't think of anybody. No, that's the one place you think I would know someone from the Caribbean.
See,
I could
but
find out though.
because when I grew up working on boats, and I spent a lot of time in the Bahamas and the Puerto Rico and all over, Bermuda. And I think in their culture, or like the Bahamians and stuff, they're like, "Oh no, man, I ain't fucking with that shit." You know what I mean? Like, oops, sorry about my language,
Right?
but they're like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
I ain't messing with that." You know
they're
what I mean?
exactly
They're
like
like,
that.
"No."
Yeah.
So I think it would be hard to find. Um, you know, I like I said, that their whole culture, a lot of the people in the islands and stuff, they're just like, mm-mm. And
Mm-mm.
they're scared of
I,
it.
w-
Oh
I
yeah,
would love to.
definitely.
I would love to investigate Cuba though.
Cuba or the
Yeah.
Dominican? I think what's been around longer, Cuba or the Dominican Republic? Now, the Dominican Republic.
I've been there.
Now, this place here has a very dark history because most of their ancestors came off the slave ship, and it brought some of that dark stuff from Africa to there. You
Well,
know,
that's all
uh,
over the Caribbean. That's Cuba. That's Jamaica. That's
yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
So it's
See, the Dominican Republic, I feel like would be hard to investigate because I've been there, and I took a cab into town and was running around getting some provisions and stuff for the boat. And I mean, my taxi cab had a bullet hole in the window, the front windshield. I mean, there's guys standing there with AKs on the side of the road. Um, So to get into like a historical building and try to investigate, I think it would be pretty difficult. Yeah, I mean, especially being American, and going over there, I think it'd be dangerous.
We need some armed bodyguards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Eric, Mike, y'all up to being my bodyguard while I investigate?
It was yeah, I mean, yeah, I've been through the Costa Rica and Panama and all that stuff, and I'm sure like even like those historic temples and everything that they have in South America and everything,
Mhm.
that would be shoo, like even down in Mexico. And
I've investigated an Inca tunnel in Ecuador.
really,
Yeah. It's like before I had it's right when I started. I didn't really get anything, but I definitely want to go back.
but I mean, you think about all the sacrifices and everything that they
Mhm.
believed in their religions and everything back in
And
in
that
the
was the battle between like the Mayas, the Incas, the Aztecs with the Spanish, was them trying to convert them into Catholicism. They thought what they were doing was they were practicing, anything that was Satan. It was probably Satan or witchcraft or whatever.
Or whatever. I mean, whatever. Yeah, that's. But man, I am look. That's. I'm not gonna give up because I know there's somebody out there that does it. That's
well, actually, you know what? Here's an idea, and I'm going to give you somewhere to maybe start looking. Um, Harbor Island in the Bahamas. There was a house right next to the marina, and it
Mhm.
had a big plaque on it that said haunted house. And that was everybody, all the locals there knew that that's a haunted house. Now it's just the walls, the stone walls.
Mhm.
Um, ceiling's gone, everything's gone. It's not, but they used to do tours there back when it was. So somebody locally was doing tours there, and Harbor Island's a very small island. Um, oh, and also in Bermuda, no, not in Bermuda, in
I was just thinking I'm gonna take Terry.
Barbados.
Ooh, I've been to Barbados.
So when so there's a story about Barbados, right? When I went there, I had a friend before I went there. I was going there to go fishing. I had a friend that was also a mate, and he was very into the paranormal. And he goes, "When you get there, you have to go check out the Chase Vault." And I said, "What is that?" He goes,
At the
"Look it up.
caverns.
No, it's called the Moving Tombs of Barbados."
Really?
Right?
Mm.
So there was a tomb. This is back in the 1900s that they were going to put all four family members in, you know. So one family member passed away, and these sarcophagi or whatever it was, they're cement. They're thousands of pounds. You know what I mean? So they built this just tunnel like to go into a what do you call it? Like a cemetery when they have the
Mausoleum.
yes, like a little
Yeah, mausoleum.
mausoleum. So it was designed to have two stacked and then two stacked for the whole the family. One person passed away, they closed it, they put him in there, they locked the iron gates. Years later, another family member passed away, they open up the gates, it's standing up.
Mm.
So they're like, okay, what?
What the hell's going on here?
So then they put the second one in, laid them both down, locked the gate, left to come back a couple years later. Another family member passed, the third one. Now they're crisscrossed and laying on the walls this way, crossed. And I mean, these are 1,000-pound casket, like cement caskets. They go, okay, somebody's messing around, like, or something. I don't know how they would move these in here. You'd have to have a bunch of people. The gate's not disturbed.
Right.
So they put them, all three of them back. And again, they open it up for the last time. Now there's one in the middle and two crossed. So like one straight, one like this. And they said no more of this. And they said this is something bad's going on here. They took them, they buried them, and that was the end of it. But the vault is still there.
Oh wow.
And so when I got there, there's a bunch of Islander local guys, some dreadlocks, little doobie hanging out. And
Come
I was
on.
like, hey, what's up, man? Where's the Chase Vault? Can you take me over there? They're like, no such thing, man. No. And so nobody wanted to talk about it. Nobody. I finally get one cab driver. I'm like, dude, I'll give you an extra $20. Just take me over to the Chase Vault, wherever the cemetery is. He's like, all right, I got you. So he took me over there and dropped me off, me and my buddy. And we go up to the church, and on the side of the church is hand drawing of the way the caskets were moved, the way everything is, and the story. And it was all just like handwritten on a piece of paper, like laminated, stuck to the side of the church. And then we went out and found the vault and went in there. And when I was in the vault, if you listen very quietly, like I could literally hear a crying, it sounded like a crying baby inside the vault. It was the weirdest thing. But that's, so there's stuff going on out there in these islands, you know, they just keep it hush hush, you know. But I would look in Harbor Island in the Bahamas, because there is a haunted house that they had there. It was a house that was haunted, and they used to do tours and ghost tours and stuff there. So they might have somebody local that lives there that used to do that stuff, that investigates.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to YouTube that and see what the heck's going on, man.
Yeah, look up the moving tombs of Barbados
and see what exactly, because I know somebody's over there probably, you know, did investigate or
Jerry, if you go there, they drive on the left side and the wrong side of the road, so be prepared.
Yeah, I know. I'll probably get a moped or something.
Well, you know, I'm just intrigued about, like, you know, the Spanish forts and the history throughout the Caribbean. You know, I've been to Castillo de San Marcos. Another thing on my bucket list would be the old San Juan Castillo in Puerto Rico. That place has seen a lot of bloodshed, and the, you know, over there in Havana, Cuba, in the port, they have a fort there as well.
Oh wow, yeah, man, Cuba is a very interesting town. I mean, place. Yeah, there's been a lot of bloodshed over there. Oh, Fidel they killed a lot of people, you know. But all right, guys, we're going on an hour and 30 minutes, man. The time is flying by.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we got good conversation going on. Hey, and I really appreciate you guys taking out, you know, come and talk to me on your busy Sunday.
We got to get you on our show.
But hey, I'm always up to that, you know. But the only problem is most of the people that invite me are doing it on a weekday.
Yeah, we do on a weekday.
We're live Monday night.
I'm always working Monday through Thursday.
I got you.
Yeah, so I mean, I pass up on a lot, you know, to come on people's shows and.
We go on at 9 o'clock at night, 9 to 10.
Is that Central or Eastern?
Eastern. So it'd be what, 8 o'clock your time?
Yeah, it'd be 8 o'clock my time. You know, but I'm always, man, I'm always at work, man. It's not a day that I don't work. You know, Monday through Thursday, Friday, I'm investigating. Saturday, I'm podcasting. Sunday evenings, I'm podcasting. And get up and do it all over again for the week. You know, so I'm steady busy.
Yeah, I feel you there. That's us.
You know what I'm saying? But before we get out of here, I ask everybody that comes on my podcast. Everybody has a bucket list. Eric, you just mentioned your bucket list. So we're going to start with you first. Is there any other place that you would like to investigate besides the location?
Number one is Machu Picchu in Peru.
You know what? You think that place is haunted?
I don't know, but I want to see. I know it's a very spiritual place. I would just be curious just to see what I could get there.
Well, don't be surprised if a UFO lands on it.
Hey, that's paranormal too.
Yeah, that's paranormal. You're right. You know, you kind of put all of them into one big book.
Some people think that, like, the paranormal with spirits is linked towards UFOs. That could be an all other show right there.
Well, you know, they said that linked in. You know, they said all that's linked into Bigfoot, Chupacabra. I mean, all that stuff seemed to be linked into one. But do we really know?
No. You gotta come down here and we'll look for some skunk ape. That's our thing down here.
Man, I'm telling you, if I come down there, hey, I'm going straight for the nightlife.
There you go.
Cause man, hey, I gotta know. I mean, I'm not a big Will Smith fan, but he made that video. Hey man, they say the Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Yeah, hey, I got it. Is the nightlife really like that?
Oh yeah,
Actually,
South
yeah.
Beach.
Oh yeah, South Beach
Back,
and stuff like that.
back in the day, I
It's
used to.
crazy.
That was my thing.
And okay, well, answer this question: have you guys ever been to what is that name of that motel that Will Smith and they talked about the
Clevelander,
huh?
Clevelander.
No. Oh man, it was in their first Will Smith and something hall. Oh, what is it called? The
Hard
Beirut.
Rod,
Because
Hard
they're
Rock.
like Beirut, man. They're like because the Al Capone suite.
Oh, the Biltmore Hotel.
Yeah, is that place haunted?
Yes.
Oh yeah, but they deny it. They don't want anything to do with the
It's real
paranormal.
high end, so they don't want nothing to do with the paranormal. They don't
But
want.
yeah, when I was in high school, the place used to be abandoned. They used to have World War II soldiers there. There used to be a
Really?
hospital. Yeah, there's all kinds of histories. But yeah, it's super haunted.
So they won't even let you investigate it.
You can like go there and like get a room. And like some people like wander around, do their own thing, but they just don't want you to be like, you know, they don't want to talk about it. You tell them like, hey, is it haunted? Oh no, it's not haunted. Completely
How
deny it.
long? And you said that place was abandoned before it got redone.
Yeah, in the '80s, the place was abandoned.
So, Eric, it was the Biltmore, and then it was abandoned, and it went back to being the Biltmore again.
Yeah.
Because I have a silver spoon here I picked up at an estate sale from the Miami Biltmore. It was said like 1923 or something on it.
Oh, no wonder Thumper is staring at the wall now.
Wow, because that place once, well, Will Smith put it in the movie. I think it got a lot of publicity. What's the
Al
movie?
Capone has been all over South Florida. We've
Everywhere.
investigated several locations where he's been at, and actually gotten his name.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but he's been all over here. He actually had a hideout in the Everglades as well.
Mm.
Where he had like,
Yeah. All right, Mike.
that was
What
during
about you?
Prohibition. Prohibition, they were doing all kinds of stuff here.
That's crazy. All right, Mike. What about you, man? What's on your bucket list to investigate? No matter where it's at, across the world.
Egypt,
Mm.
Egypt, like the Great Pyramids and all that stuff. I'd love to just go see what's going on there and investigate that.
The
But
Great
see,
Pyramids of
the
Giza.
curse of King Tut's really true.
You think so?
We'll debunk it. Well, that's what we'll do. That'll be our
I mean,
mission.
imagine the energy and how many people lost their lives and how many people were building that thing. I mean, in that city and that history there, and just always wanted to visit it anyway. But to be able to do an investigation in there, man, that would be insane.
Now, before we get out of here, man, I got one last question to ask you guys. If you had a time machine, Mike, if you had a time machine, would you be afraid to go back in time? Would you go?
There's a lot of questions, right? So, because I don't know, because the butterfly effect, like, you know what I mean? Like if you change one thing, is that going to change everything in this dimension that we're in? Then probably not, because I wouldn't want to accidentally screw nothing up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where that's a crazy question to ask, because I mean, I would love to. I think it would be awesome. I mean, just to observe, if I could go back and not actually physically and just kind of observe, then I think I would like to go back and check out certain history. That's why I think, to be honest with you, I hope I'm not going off into a deep rabbit hole, but sometimes I have a theory that I think that it's possible that some of the UFOs that we're seeing or things that people are reporting are us from the future coming back to see, like that question, right? Like, hey, Mike, if you would go back, would you go? And you said, yeah, I would. And you said, all right, let's go. I have a ship. We're going to go back and we're going to hover over somewhere. Where do you want to go? Okay, let's go back to Jesus Christ, right? They painted that painting where they have the little UFO in the corner. And it's always around religious times, always around war times. It's always around this is when you see UFOs. And I'm wondering if it's people from the future coming back to see what if they actually figured it out and come back and see and observe.
Okay, cool. What about you, Eric? Would you go?
Oh yeah, I would go. Where do I sign up? I mean, I love history. I mean, man, I would love to go back in history to see like when
How
things
far would
happen.
you go? How far back would you go?
I'll go to the Stone Ages. I want to see some dinosaurs.
Stone Age.
I want to see some raptors,
Mm,
brontosauruses.
wow.
I don't know. I would feel like the 20s, right? Like I would feel like I would want to see how you see how it's depicted in movies and things. Man, I got going down a YouTube rabbit hole the other day, and somebody had posted a video from 1940, and they colorized it, and it was just like in the people in the street walking by. It was like,
Yeah,
and it was
that's crazy.
it was the coolest thing to see, right? Like what people were wearing and how they acted, what they did, and just it was really really kind of cool to see.
Now, did you guys, one last question. Did you guys ever see that picture from back in the 20s? And it was just an ordinary picture. But that one guy,
It has like the glasses.
no, that one kid sitting on the sidewalk on a cell phone.
No,
Did
I
y'all
didn't
see
see
that?
that. No,
I didn't see
Oh,
that one.
dude,
that's pretty wild.
yeah, man, it was talked about on CNN on whether this picture was actually real.
Oh wow.
There's been a couple of them. Like there was during one of the Mike Tyson fights, the early ones in the 90s. It looks like somebody in the crowd has an iPhone and they're using it to take pictures.
Yeah.
There's a couple photos like that are very strange, right?
Strange. And make you want to go, make you want to do
Right.
that. But you know what? This world's a crazy place, man, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of mysteries out
There's a
there.
lot of things we don't understand and we won't know till we cross over.
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, and this is what I'm trying to, trying to tell certain people is, are we ready? Is society ready for the truth?
Nope.
I believe we are. I believe we're at that time. I mean, you look at the whistleblowers that came out about the UFOs and everything, and people were like, yeah, it wasn't even a headline news. It wasn't even on the front page. It was like, and people didn't even care. They go, we knew that was happening.
Yeah.
So I honestly think that.
I think people are going to be kept numb.
But you know what? The one person that to this day, the first whistleblower, he's just sitting back and say, ha, 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 told you. Ha, ha,
Yeah.
ha. And you know who that is, right?
Bill Lazar or Bob Lazar.
Yeah, that's Bob Lazar. And
and the Element 115, right? When he came out
and it's actually on the Element table now.
I know.
Can you believe that?
That's insane, right there.
That is insane.
I mean, he was talking about that before it was even on the periodic table.
Exactly. Bob Lazar knew about it, and the guy that invented the Learjet, Lear. I forgot his first name. But hell, man, they were up on Peekaboo Peak watching the whole damn show. But nobody freaking believed him. The government just totally cut him off. But now you got these 2022 whistleblowers. Why come they're not cutting them off like they did Bob?
I think it's a different time now, right? It's a different time. Back then, that was people weren't. I don't think we're ready for that, And I think now they were just like, meh. It's people are so desensitized from things, and they prep us. They prep us in movies and certain stuff, for years and years and years. Like when Orson Welles did the War of the Worlds, right? And they did that radio broadcast where it sounded like it was actually happening, and people were jumping out the windows and stuff. You know what I mean? Like today, nobody cares. They're like, yeah, whatever. Put my face in
Hey,
TikTok.
yeah, right. I mean, that's how crazy the world is today. I would definitely go back in time. I would definitely go back because this place here, our planet, our Earth, is much older than what scientists are saying.
Oh yeah, they're finding so many new
They're
things
finding
that are.
civilizations that are dating back than what people originally thought it went back. I mean,
Mhm.
like the human. I think it was like in Indonesia. I was seeing something that dates back way before people thought like the human race started.
Exactly. And and this is a thing, a civilization that's more advanced than us, man, they don't have to, the thing is, they don't have to, have direct contact with us because right now we're beneath them.
Oh yeah,
What's the point?
we're
Yeah,
like probably
it's
like
like
ants to them, you know?
exactly
Yeah,
like the alien ant farm.
what's
Yeah.
the point? The government is so busy trying to cover what they're doing. Man, you got to realize these guys here, they don't give a shit about us, man. They just look at us, like you say, Mike, it's just an ant. But the biggest question is, how would it mess with uh, our believing in life, how life was created? If an alien was to come here on the White House lawn and say, "Hey,
Hmm.
there's no God. I created you." Man, can you imagine all the
Well,
black?
look at the like hieroglyphics on like the Aztecs. Like they have like a spaceship guy like on one of the temples. Have you ever seen that?
Oh yeah. Can you? I
Well,
mean,
I mean,
it's
all
crazy.
religions are very similar, right? Something an entity came down from the sky and brought them knowledge, right? So it almost falls in line with religions. If an alien did come down and say, "I created you," then um, that would be who our ancestors thought was God.
Exactly.
The ancient astronaut theory.
Maybe we need to focus more on the stars, like how
Well,
they did.
it's weird. I'm glad you brought that up because why are we focusing more on the stars now than our own damn oceans?
Exactly. They
That
say,
is the biggest. That is
yeah,
the biggest question.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
They got UFOs popping out of the ocean.
Well, it's not
USOs.
only
Yeah,
Already,
that.
already been
It,
documented.
it's not only that. Let's jump back 30,000 years ago. Water levels were low,
Hmm.
dude. There is so many. I mean, civilizations down there that you can actually walk into. I mean, Florida, you can possibly walk from Florida to the Caribbean back in those
Yeah,
days.
with all the technology they're having, they're discovering so many more things. Like even go back before the ice age,
You know,
like
so
discovering new civilizations and things like that. So
so
pretty
this,
wild.
yeah, man. So it's it's common sense for anybody to say that something's here. Yes, it's common sense because we're not the only ones on this planet. We're, we and you know what? After we're long gone, they're still going to be here because it's
Yeah,
always been like that.
yeah.
For somebody to say, "Oh, we're the only ones in the universe," I'm like, really?
yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you,
If you
dude?
could, I mean, just look up in the sky, man. Nobody like just look at it and think about that goes on forever, forever, ever. You know what I mean?
Infinity.
And we're not the only, we're not special. I'll put it that way. We're not. There's no way that this is the only planet in the universe that can harbor life. It's impossible.
Right? And you
Yeah.
and let's think about going back 30 million years ago. Mars probably wouldn't be the way that it is now.
Maybe it
No,
was like
might
Earth.
have. Yeah, it was inhabitable.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, Irene, if you're out there, man, Irene is a good friend of mine from Tokyo, Japan. She
Oh,
made
nice.
all of this. She made all of this. Um, Man, she's just a good person in general. She's helped me out through a lot, and she does a lot of things, in the paranormal. And actually, what we actually did is we did a live podcast when she went to Hiroshima.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Very interesting, dude.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
So I was able to go step by step with her when she was investigating that location.
wow.
And can you imagine that?
No.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Going to the place where the first bomb was dropped
Yeah.
and investigating that place. And not only that, she's really gifted, and she was able to communicate with some of the individuals that are no longer there, that happened to go when the bomb
And
fell.
I'm sure that probably is very active because of the fact that it happened so quick.
Oh yeah, definitely.
People didn't even know
But
that
they
they
were
were
dead.
probably dead. Just
Yep.
evaporated. So quickly.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I'm really thinking about taking a trip there to Tokyo in the summer of 24. So I can get the hands-on feel on all the haunted locations that are there. But not only that, man, Okinawa, Hiroshima, uh, go to that crazy
Well, there's the forest, the suicide
forest.
forest,
Yes, go
Yeah.
to the forest.
and then
What
there's
about where the tidal wave happened and wiped out that town?
that's Fukushima.
Yeah.
And Fukushima got hit with that tsunami, and the power plant exploded, and you could take tours in there, but the Geiger counters, they upped the level of safety. Like, it's supposed to be at like however many gamma, and then they said, oh no, it's safer for humans at this level, just to let people go in there and tour it and stuff. It's dangerous. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
very dangerous. I wouldn't go nowhere near that unless I want to end up like the Hulk.
Right. Right.
Right.
That's totally two different types of radiation, you know. But yeah, man, we've got some things planned. Like I say, I want to take a trip to Tokyo, Japan, to see all of that. She keeps telling me about the haunted waterfall. That's another location that a lot of people don't talk about.
See,
And
because in their culture too, that's another no, right? Like, you don't mess with the gin and things like that. That's all, like, off
yeah,
limits to a lot of people in that culture.
yep, it is. But guys, an hour and 48 minutes.
All
Hey,
right.
tell the world how to get a hold of you guys when they want to come to Miami. Well, because I know at first they're going to get the nightlife, then they're going to come visit y'all. So tell the world how to get a hold of you guys.
That's real easy. warpartyparanormal.com. Everything's linked to our website.
Yes, sir.
Everything. Yep.
All right, man. You know what? It has been a pleasure talking to you guys.
Do you guys
man.
do you mind if I plug one more other thing, guys? Anybody that's listening, make sure you go check out the Haunted Files on Paraflix. We're super passionate about it. It's one of our it's a big part of our lives, and filming and putting out this content, and we're very super passionate about it, and we'd love for you guys to check it out.
And we're just two guys. We're not a corporation. We're not a big company. We're not a bunch of producers.
Yep.
So it's called The Haunted Files on Paraflix, and we got an awesome episode coming out Halloween night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And like I asked earlier, if you wouldn't mind, it's 1 minute. If I could show that little video.
Yeah. Hey, you heard these guys, man. Go check them out. You know what I'm doing on Halloween?
Hopefully, watching the Haunted
Us.
File.
I'm working, man. I'm working,
Oh
working,
man.
working. My team will be out at a location just north of us called the Shady Villa Hotel, and they'll be investigating that place, that location, uh, again because man, you just think you got one location figured out, it throws you another twist. I mean, we
Oh
just
yeah,
going and going and going. But yeah, I'll be at work
Look,
while they're having fun. But anyway, guys,
Terry, do you mind if I play that real quick? Because 1 minute and
come on,
15.
play it, brother.
All right, here it comes. What's happened? So you might have to go down there, see next to where we are down in the off stage there, and bring it up.
There it is. Let me click onto that right quick. Hold on. Wait a minute. That's my that's Eric. Okay, here we go. Let's see here.
This Halloween night, the Haunted Files and Paraflix bring you all. Almost happened. What happened?
Did it pop in there?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
playing,
popped in.
and then it shut off.
Hold on. Let's see here.
You had it.
What happened there?
It's muted.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see if I can unmute this thing here. All right, let's try it.
This Halloween night, the Haunted Files and Paraflix bring you an all-new Halloween special, where Mike and Eric take things to a whole new level, investigating the paranormal claims that have been reported from the haunted Lake Okeechobee. What the hell's that? Something bubbling under there.
I'm trying to get it to pop up on the.
It's playing.
Double.
And what they find is not what they expected. And it was truly out of this world. Lake of Death, airing Halloween night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Only on Paraflix.
Let's see here.
Perfect. It played.
You played it.
Well, I didn't see it.
Oh, you didn't see it? It played. The whole thing played.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can do this. I'm going to change to the screen configuration, see if I can get it again. All right, let's see here. That's weird. I'm going to see if I can blow it up. Oh, well, somebody saw it. I didn't see it.
We all saw it except you.
Golly. Ain't that
Hey,
something?
but it's in your IG messenger. I sent it
Yeah,
to you.
so I'll pop it up once I get off and see what's going on. Then if I'm able to hit the share, I'll probably share it with everybody.
No worries, man. We appreciate it.
Hey, man.
Thank you so much for reaching out to us.
Oh, that's no problem.
I had a good time. Pleasure talking to you.
Hey, we need to do this again.
For
Yeah,
sure.
man. It was
Anytime,
great.
let us know. We got other team members too. Bring them up.
Definitely. Who is the young lady that I reached out to on your page?
In the chat,
No, she's not in the chat. When I called you guys,
you called?
I forgot her name.
Scotty?
What? Scotty?
And
Marla?
older lady.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Scotty probably.
Yeah, she's she's a funny lady.
Oh,
We
yeah.
I think we talked maybe a good 10 minutes about you guys. You know, she really, really admires you guys and what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we love her.
She's
Love Scotty.
You know what I'm saying? So
very, very knowledgeable, man. She's been around a long time doing
She's
this.
been doing it for like 200 years. Sorry, Scotty.
well, don't say that because I might have to go investigate her.
Exactly, right?
And hey, see if she
Scotty's
found that.
she's a badass, though. She's like 6'2". She'll be strapping.
If she found the fountain, if she's been here for 200 years, she must have found the fountain of youth.
Exactly.
If she has, hey, I want some of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, guys. Well, hey, it has been a pleasure talking to you, man. Let's do this again.
Heck
Hey,
yeah.
if you guys got any questions, feel free to message me, contact me.
Likewise with us.
Yes, sir. And if you can, share the video, man. Share the video, share the
Awesome.
podcast with everybody. You
I'll
know,
put it on our War Party page.
And hey, and if you got any more paranormal because I'm always looking for teams out of Florida.
Yeah,
You
hit
know,
us up anytime. We can even set something up for you if you come down.
well, if I'm coming, I told you where I'm going, man. As soon as I get there.
Well, there's some haunted places on South Beach. We got Versace Mansion.
Nah, I want to go down there and get me something to drink, hang out with the ladies.
Yeah, you get that at Versace. You get ghosts, ladies, and drinks. How about that? And the beach.
Oh, ghost ladies and drink. Hey, man, I don't think
That sounds like a party to me.
sounds like a big part of me. Hey, as long as I got a place to lay my head afterwards, I'll be good to go. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, man.
Thank you, sir.
And I would definitely stay in contact with you guys, man, and see what's going on. But nothing but success on what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Thank you. Same to you.
Keep your head up, keep that chin up, and your eyes forward. Hey,
exactly.
And you guys were definitely reach for the stars. So in the meantime, hey, this is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal. Hey, signing off, man. I gotta go get me something to munch on because my stomach is grumbling and I'm out of soda drink. But in the meantime, hey, you guys have a good night. Peace.
All right, good night, guys. Take it easy.
Peace.